You and the Oak Ridge Boys are on your 50th year anniversary farewell tour. First off, congratulations to all four of you guys. 50 years is an accomplishment within itself. But how how has 50 years on the road with the same group been? How has that been for you?
Well, it's actually been a wonderful thing, you know. I mean, we've in years past we've had our ups and downs, but it's like a family situation, really. You know, I mean, we spend more time together on the road than we do with our families a lot of times, and but it's you get to know each other, and so you get to respect each other for the unique talents that each one has, and to what they each one bring to the Oak Ridge Boys to make it what it is, and to make it the success that we've achieved back in the days, and you know, for us to still be together and still be out there doing this year, I think we're booked like 75 dates out there on the road, and then that's half of what we used to do. You know, we used to do 150 dates on the road every year, but during the past couple of years, we've had to slow down some because Joe it become more difficult for Joe Bonzel to get around and tour at the schedule of 150 days a year for sure. So we had to back it off to kind of help accommodate Joe's uh, slowly deteriorating physical abilities, you know. But that kind of happens to people when they get a little older, and different people do different things, and but it was something that Joe was helpless in, and it's same thing with the Oak Ridge Boys. You know, we're helpless in the situation, but what we've done is some of these dates were booked prior to Joe being forced to tell us that he had to stay home because it was impossible for him to continue touring at the pace that we were touring, and to also have the energy to sing because he was getting weaker and being able to sing. And anyhow, it was heart wrenching for us. And I know it was certainly something that he struggles with too. And I have to hand it to him. He was a real trooper, you know. I mean, he went as long as he possibly could. And it was, I know Dwayne and Derek would a lot of times have to help him on stage and off stage, but his heart was still there, and his energy, his voice was still there until the end of December, basically, and then that's when he said that it was, and it was 2 days, our last 2 days of the Christmas show. He seemed to lose more energy, and it was such a struggle because I think that time when we had more than 2 or 3 dates in a week, sometimes it would really take a toll on his energy level out there for the past year. But God works in mysterious ways. There's a young man, Ben James. I've got grandkids older than Ben James, and but it was a godsend when he come to us and said, "Guys, I'd like to try out for that part if I can help." He said, "And I'll be there to help if Joe's needing it now." And so we he came out one weekend with us and played rhythm guitar with us, but then and Joe was still singing good at that point, but he was getting weaker. And anyhow, when Joe said he couldn't go any further, then 2 weeks later, Ben came out. Ben James did, and he filled in, and we didn't even have a rehearsal, but he never missed a note. He sang every note that Joe had sang, and put his own feelings to the songs. And Tony Brown that played piano with us in the early years, and then Elvis hired him from the Oak Ridge Boys. But after Elvis left, Tony became a record producer, and he produced some of the biggest names in country music. Uh, he still produces George Strait and Reba McEntire and people like that. Vince Gill, but he told when he heard Ben James singing, he said he was amazed. He got through singing. He said, "Man," he said, "I've only heard one voice like that." He said, and so he said, "It's second time I've heard a voice that good." He said, "You've got a voice just like Vince Gill." And anyhow, he said, "Do you like Vince Gill?" He said, "I love Vince Gill. You know, I grew up hearing his songs and singing his songs at home." So he had actually recorded some at Vince's place. But you know, he's got that kind of voice. It's that high, lonesome sound voice of Vince Gill sound. And again, it's been a whole generation, and there's no one else who's had that voice. And Tony said this is a brand new generation of a Vince Gill voice. And anyhow, it's good to have someone that can step in and we got social media messages this past weekend after two shows in Ohio, and they were talking about said that Dan James was a perfect fit. So I happen to agree with that.